court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I am the producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay! Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. Alright, jumping right into it. I entered the trailer a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you? The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, what with that monkey's head toppling over. Okay. I see. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it! Okay, well, I don't think there's anything explicitly clear. I heard the trailer a little before noon. Meeting began at 12, ended at 4. There's be rehearsal, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break. T-bone steaks on the table in front. Being the boss, should I find contradiction somewhere? Okay. Well, nothing is immediately pressing out at me. Well, jumping out at me, I should say. So let's press. By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop in at the employee area? No. Are you always this terse? Yes. Oh dear. Okay, well, keep going. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears. Okay, there was to be rehearsal, so we went to Studio 1. And when exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4 and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5. I would think it was between those times. You would think? Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth! Okay, so that didn't seem... Yeah, that didn't change anything in her testimony. Okay, so I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. Hold on! You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van. Oh, right. Good job, Phoenix. And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oh, oops. It was a 15-minute break. I just said that. Stop pounding your desk, Slam. Yeah, stop pounding your desk. Oh, whoops. Okay, Saturday T-bone steaks. Do we have someone who can verify this? Sal. No, I mean someone else? One person is enough. She committed murder during that break. She wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. Find some evidence that proves she didn't eat that steak. Okay, well there we go. Okay, thankfully I can just hit B to do that. Okay, so it's gotta be here. So we have to prove that she didn't actually eat the T-bone steak. How could we have known? On our trace of sleeping pills and a large bone. Manila used this van to drive Vasquez Studio 1 after the meeting with the trailer. Huh. Okay. Sleeping pill bottle isn't going to tell us anything. That has nothing to do with what we're going over now. Neither there's anything that Cody had. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Would it be the head? Huh. This is hard. Because it's gotta be this. Like, Phoenix basically told us that, okay, we need to show proof that she didn't actually eat the T-bone steak during that time. So, what could she have been doing around 2:30? Steal one after meeting the trailer. That doesn't tell us anything. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Sal. If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proves she didn't eat that steak. Is it? Found the employee area on our trace of sleeping pills and a large bone. Maybe? The weird thing was that... Yeah, because on her plate, or at the very least one of the plates, I assume it might have been hers, there were no bones. Yeah, that honestly doesn't tell me anything. The table in front of the trailer. Maybe? I don't think it would necessarily be the van. This is hard. This is really hard. I'm trying to find exactly what it is that proves that she didn't actually eat the steak. And the thing that I remember seeing was that there were no bones on her plate. The van itself doesn't tell me anything. The closest would be the steak plate itself. That's honestly the closest thing I've got, so we can try it. As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate? This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you, it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Ms. Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate at the table outside the trailer. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Ms. Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. I mean, to be fair, either of these are technically correct. But for our purposes, you didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator. I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Order! Are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. As Ms. Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Mr. Wright! Isn't that a little presumptuous? What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick! Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh, yes. The samurai spear. Yes? I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? Definitely not the I don't know. That seems very obvious. I almost think that it's a bit of a trick. Wait a minute, hold on. Murder weapon. A break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape. I think that's probably how. She broke the tip off of the spear and she used that to stab Hammer. So no, she couldn't have wielded the heavy spear. She could have used the tip. I think you would have a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. Ha! You see? Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning, the samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What? What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. I mean, it's still the samurai spear. But it's because it was mended with duct tape. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon! Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action scene run-through? But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who was wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence! I am the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you are saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell, what was? How was Hammer killed? Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer? Yes. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then. It's still the samurai spear! Yeah, that's literally it. It's just... It's the spear! It's still the same thing! We just went around in a complete circle! Nick! Think about this some more! Huh? Think? Please? How could that possibly have been the murder weapon? Okay. Oh! I just figured it out. Poetic justice. Look at this photo. What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Oh, order! Order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is all this about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? What? Are you saying? Yes. What happened 5 years ago has happened again! Mr. Wright, continue! It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say, for the sake of argument, that Hammer died in the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio One and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio One and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body? She had another way. She's had so many people at her beck and call, whether it's her cleaners or just Sal. She could have had help. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? Or the van. The van works too. For instance... Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. Yeah, because she could... If it was between 4 and 5 after the meeting ended and when the body was discovered, she could have had that hour span. It wouldn't have mattered if she could have gone there in 15 minutes. No one would have been at that studio at the time. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio One, and you used the studio van to do it! Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio One. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio One. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, Wright! Don't forget, it was Sal Manella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? This one's actually kind of hard. But I feel like he was. He would have done anything that Vasquez would have told him to. Of course Sal Manella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun. I win? Just stunned silence. So what happens next? Don't me. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, so you mean... D. Vasquez, so it was you! You killed Jack Hammer! Just so much awkward silence with this woman. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright? We just engaged in a battle of wits. And the result of that battle? You proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? Why? Order! Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure! Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? Testify again? It's the closest thing that I can think of. I gotta stall for time. I'd like you to testify again. Testify again? Know when to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time. Damn! Damn! I've come so far only to fail! As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez. Damn, is Edgeworth gonna help me? Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. Oh, he is helping. It's not working, but he's trying. I didn't. I see. Very well. Your Honor! I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes. Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about? Well, yes, Edgeworth, you are a great prosecutor. You are a horrible defense attorney. Indeed. Verily I say, ergo, I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Huh. Nick! Why did Edgeworth? Who knows? Probably realized she did it too. But, wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that? Edgeworth. I think Edgeworth is just more concerned about finding the truth, more so than a guilty verdict. I think he's definitely a more aggressive way of trying to find it, but if the truth is staring him right in the face, I guess even he would go against the guilty verdict in order to actually get the truth, which is surprisingly noble. I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police. Then Powers showed up. The security lady Oldbag was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. Okay, well, there was nothing immediately apparent in that. Okay. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 for the rehearsal. So I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manella arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Oh yeah, we're totally pressing harder. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help. Oh. What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy. Boy! The witness will continue her testimony. Okay, assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember. Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm? You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Ah. Wait a second, wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person? I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez? Huh. Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one there was thinking very logically, I can assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing. Poor Powers. Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue. Alright, so nothing really much there. Immediately called the police, and then Powers showed up. What was everyone else doing at that time? No one said a thing. It was silent. Completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then, silence. Dead silence. Silence. Hey, Nick! Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. What, you want me to start juggling, Maya? What do you want me to do? Old bag? Security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going toward the studio. Right, the Steel Samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seemed to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. Photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. Huh. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. Okay, well, nothing there. You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned. And I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that, since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved, thus, they covered for us. Covered for you. Or covered it up for you. There must have been a lot riding on it with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. Yeah! Cleaners were definitely something that she had on her side. The script and your direction notes? Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. They were kind of left on the director chair. I thought you came to Studio 1 for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh yeah, I guess. Very well, Ms. Vasquez, please continue. Your Honor! I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Huh? Think. Ms. Vasquez says she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to have known about the murder before going to Studio 1. Yeah, Edgeworth helping me out! Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth! What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Ms. Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense? What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes. So I left them behind. Okay. How would she have known about that, though? How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal the director? Huh. You have to find something to peg this on her. Okay, yes. Well, it has to be the last bit. I knew the Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. Okay. Okay, so there's got to be something that contradicts that statement. How could she have known that Hammer was injured? Block the path to the scene of crime between 2:15 and 4. But she got there at around 4:50, so that might not necessarily be what I need. Dragging one leg. Yeah, there's gotta be something here. I'm thinking it might be the monkey head? Right, because no one would have gone by between that time. But the problem is that theoretically, I guess Sal would have been there and told her about that. What do I do? There's gotta be something here to help me out with that. Let's see. So, I mean, there's the photo there, but that doesn't really do anything. The only thing I can think of would be the monkey head. Because they were in a meeting from noon until 4. Let me look at it again. How'd you know? How did I know? Sal, he told me. So, what basically prevents Sal from being able to tell her that? That's basically what I'm trying to find here. Because the action scene ended before the meeting. And the director was there. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Man, this is hard. Granted, like, I have full tries. So, I mean, I could theoretically, like, try guessing. I really don't want to guess, though. I really want to try to figure this out and not just stumble upon the right answer. Yeah, I'm trying to think. With the monkey head being blocked there, would have prevented Sal from being there. Possibly? It's hard. Because I'm trying to think, like, what exactly would have prevented Sal from telling her about the injury? I'm thinking that somehow, like, he wasn't there to really do anything about it? I could always try. There's nothing about Cody's stuff that has any bearing on this. The photo doesn't really help. The sleeping bottle doesn't really matter. There's the steak. Which, I mean, Sal was definitely there during lunch, and that's why he took the steak. I honestly don't know. Because this is obviously the change statement, and anytime that there's been the change statement, that's been what I needed to basically get them. Sal the director. This is hard. This is really hard. There's also, I was with Sal when we found the body, which, I mean, they found it at 5, so there was a 4-hour difference. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hammer? I thought it was Powers that was injured. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. Powers was the one that was said to have sprained his ankle, not Hammer. Maybe it is the photo. Because how else would she have known that it was Hammer there? It would have been Powers who would have been told that he would have been injured, not Hammer. Objection! You knew that Hammer was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers! What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself! Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes! Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah! And when was he doing this? Well, it would have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly! Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order! Order! I will have order! Witness, can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing! Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there's a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive? I mean, possibly? I think the incident probably be good enough. She wanted to get everything associated with the old studio out of the way. Okay. I have proof, and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder. It's gotta be this. This is my proof. This is the photo from before? This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial, it began on that day, 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He has a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder. Oh shoot, there's more? What would her motive be? I figured that would be it. And it's like, please do something else with the same question. Oh, what? And this one actually counts because the life bar showed up. That's thing I can think of, though. Like, the only thing that I could really think of was that she wanted to turn the studio around. She wanted to turn the studio around so that way she could focus away from kids' shows. Away from the samurai stuff, away from all of that, and rebrand the studio. I don't have anything here to prove that, though. Yeah, because that's the thing. I'm trying to think how exactly would I be able to prove that. Okay. Allow me to present to the court evidence proving Miss Vasquez's motive. This is hard. This is hard. Oh, jeez. Okay. I don't think the sleeping pill... This hasn't been useful in anything. Actually. That's just the van. We've used that. There's the steak plate, which doesn't really tell us anything about this. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is the photo again. I keep going back to that. Like, she wanted to turn the studio around, and she needed some way of convincing everyone. The biggest star would still conceivably be Hammer. That's the weird thing. I'm just brought back to the photo. It's literally the only thing that I can think of. And it's weird to, like, have to double do the photo. But it's the only thing that I can think of. The only thing to be that would be any conceivable motive for her. Worst case scenario, I get docked a point, but... This is my proof! And this tells us why Miss Vasquez wanted to kill Mr. Hammer. I'd say all it proves is that the defense attorney has completely lost his marbles. Ah, crap. Request that you find your marbles immediately. Damn it. Nick, we're so close! Think this one through, please! I'll ask you again. Please explain... I guess the potential would be that she also doesn't have a motive? Because again, I don't have anything to potentially... I don't have anything to back that up. And it is just conceivable that, like, he went to confront her, and it just turned out to be another big accident. I guess if there is evidence, it'll dock me a point here, and then I can go to look at my evidence a bit more closely. I'm gonna try that she didn't have a motive, and that this is all just another big accident. She had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Ms. Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Ms. Vasquez. What? What? Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the steel samurai costume. Jackhammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jackhammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. So you did do it, didn't you? Yes. I'm guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance! There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Miss Vasquez! What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel! Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No! No! How could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No! Manuel! Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez! No! Please. Please don't die! Please! Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose. Again. Mr. Edgeworth? Where's D. Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. Thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle. Yes. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me. Why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? Do I have anything that would explain why he'd be framed? Jealousy, perhaps? That's the only thing I can think of. Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because he was jealous of the success of the Steel Samurai. It's because you were the Steel Samurai. Because I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once. But he was reduced to acting in a kid's show, and as a villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you. I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him anytime. I think you're missing the point. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. So am I. Congratulations, WP! Oh. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Huh? Is something wrong? No! Of course not! Ah! Nick! Edgeworth! Say something, Wright. I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth! You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar! Right? I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Mr. Wright, was that guy your friend? What? Friends? As if. They're rivals. Rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? You and me both, Maya. Come on, Nick, tell me! What's the deal with you and Edgeworth? And so the curtain closed on another trial. Caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kid shows again. Nick! This is it! The new show starts today! You're going to watch it with me, right? I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Oh, isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. How exactly? You know what? Power of editing. That's all I'm going to really think about. All right, and now we have a brand new episode. Oh! Well, yes, say progress. Kind of wanted to see what the name of the episode was. Turnabout Goodbyes. Okay. So, next time on Let's Play, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. With episode 3 finished, we begin the next one. So we'll begin our next case in Turnabout Goodbyes. Very exciting. This is already very exciting. Wasn't expecting to get hooked on this game series before even finishing, but I'm already so much in love with this game. But we will continue on in episode 4 next time. So, until then, everyone, take care.